I even started lying, telling people I was okay, knowing that I wasn't. And hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Miss Khrissy. I made this video specifically because if you are new to this channel, I have not posted in a very long time. I wanted to share my experience of why I've kind of been off YouTube for about 4 months now. And also, if you clicked on this video, it is specifically for people that have experienced what I've experienced. COVID, being a long hauler, having headaches. This intro is actually the day after that I filmed the video because I filmed it last night, so that's why it's gonna look a little different. I also wanted to jump in real quick with this intro because as I was editing this video, I realized that I was getting really emotional talking about my story. I do want to share it with you guys, but I also do want to say a special thank you to everybody that has reached out to me in the last couple of months and supported me and checked on me. I have people reaching out to me down to family, friends, people that never even met me, people constantly checking on me, a lot of YouTube support. Like, I got a lot of support from my fellow YouTubers and I really appreciate you guys. Your messages honestly got me through and meant so much to me, so thank you. Big shout out to so many that have supported me. I also just wanted to say a little disclaimer. I am not a doctor. I am not your doctor. I am not telling you what to do. I am not telling you any of that. I'm telling you my experience of what I went through and what worked for me. I'm not looking for any criticism on this video. If you are here to troll, please go to another video, go to another channel. You will be blocked. Sorry to be so harsh, but this is a very hard video for me to make, and I just wanted to go ahead and put that out there. It also was very hard to come back to YouTube because it's been a struggle with my mental. I'm good now, but it's been a struggle like trying to get back into a mode. So just be gentle with your comments. That's all I have to say. Either way, I'm gonna stop rambling. I love you guys. Let's go ahead and jump into the video. I've been struggling to make this video for a long time. I need to make this video for me. I'm making this video, it's kind of a little different tone for my channel. This video is specifically for my subscribers and people that have had COVID and were considered a long hauler. I had COVID. I wanted to make this video to kind of share my experience and tell you guys exactly what's been going on for these last couple of months. It wasn't detrimental, but it was an experience, and I just felt like I needed to come on camera and talk about it. So I had COVID in February. This video is probably going to come out sometime in June. I had COVID and then I was considered a long hauler. I'm making this video for anybody that feels like they were a long hauler or is a long hauler. I had no idea about the term. I'm also making this video because I have not posted. If you are new to my channel, you probably just clicked on this video just for this video, but I do a lot of wig reviews and makeup tutorials, skincare on my channel. But this video specifically, I wanted to come back to my subscribers and tell you guys exactly what happened to me. So if you're new here, I am a respiratory therapist. I got COVID back in February, mid-February, and I work in the hospital. I get sick occasionally from working in the hospital, here and there, you know, a sniffle, a cough. So I didn't think much of it. But my last shift, I came home the next day and I had a fever. I had chills. I was sweating. I did not feel good at all. I thought it was just one of those regular allergic to work days. If you work in the hospital, you understand what I mean. You feel kind of icky, but then you get back to normal. My husband, the week before, was sick. He came back from a business trip and I think he had COVID. We don't know for sure if he did because he didn't get tested, but he had all the symptoms. He lost his taste, he lost his smell, fever, coughing, aching, everything for a whole week. He was very sick. I kept making jokes, you have COVID. So then all of a sudden my last shift the next day, I'm sick. So I've been taking care of COVID patients for the past year now. We are in a pandemic, we're getting out of it, but I've been taking care of COVID patients for a very long time. When I go to work, I wear an N95, I wear a full face shield, I wear a gown, I wear gloves, I'm gowned up. So in my head, I believe that I could not get COVID. I was in the middle of it. If you're familiar with respiratory therapists, we're the ones that intubate, we deal with the ventilators. I'm in the middle of all of this. I felt like I was in the middle of the war. So in my head, I don't want to say I thought I was immune, but I was just like, you know what, it's in my system, I can't get COVID. Boom, then it hits me and I was sick. So it started off kind of flu-like symptoms, coughing, aching, chills, fever. I also was really stiff, and my joints was really stiff, and I was really achy. I went through that for about a week. So then I also lost my taste and smell. I lost my taste and smell about 3 days into getting sick, and I could not taste, I could not smell. It's the weirdest thing ever. If you, like I said, clicked on this video, you might be experiencing these symptoms, or maybe you've heard of somebody with these symptoms. It's real. It's really real. And I've experienced the loss in taste and smell. So therefore, I didn't really want to eat. I was just drinking soup and drinking water. And then I started to slowly get better. But then what I noticed is I was really short of breath. And when I say short of breath, I mean like I felt like I ran a mile. I felt like I was running up and down stairs. I couldn't catch my breath. I also experienced being really, really dizzy. I would get up and walk to the kitchen like about 10 steps and feel completely short of breath and dizzy. I was winded. And on top of this, I had a headache. I had a headache from the beginning. The headache, I took Tylenol, I took Advil, aspirin, everything, anything that you can name, I took it. I didn't think anything of the headache because I just thought it was because of COVID that, you know, I'm feeling this way. I thought maybe because I'm sick, this is kind of the symptoms, I'm working with it. I drank water. I kept loading up on medicine. About a month into after feeling sick, I still was really fatigued. I was really short of breath. I had to convince my doctor that I was just not feeling good. They gave me naproxen and Imitrex for my headache. So about 2 weeks into having COVID, I used to update my subscribers and tell them, I'm coming back, I'll be back next week, boom, boom, boom. But it got exhausting. It got exhausting telling people I'm gonna feel better, and I was not feeling better. People would text me, how are you doing? And for me to say I'm fine, but then the next minute I'm not fine, it was exhausting. One thing that was consistent through this whole 4 months, or I want to say 3 months, is the headache. I had a headache that was so excruciating. It felt like somebody was pushing on my head. I kind of got used to having a headache, that it became my norm, that people would talk to me and they'd be like, oh, you sound fine. You don't sound like you have a headache. I did. I had a headache. And I was short of breath, and I couldn't talk, and I was, you know, I was doing things to try to make myself feel better, but the headache was persistent. I've been to the ER 3 times because the pain was so sharp, it woke me up out of my sleep. I also used to hallucinate a lot with the medicine that I was taking. I've took multiple medicine. I've also experienced my family, okay? I love my family. They got me through this, I must say. But in the beginning, it was hard. It was hard for, everybody thinks they're your COVID doctor when you get COVID. They want to tell you, try this, try this. Did you try sea moss? Did you try castor oil? Did you try this? It got so exhausting that I decided not to really talk about it anymore because I was getting stressed out. I had to, I don't want to say act like I was okay, but I did. I have 2 kids, I have a husband. In my head, I just thought I was sick, you know, a regular cold, I'll be okay. You gotta keep pushing. And that's what I was trying to do. So therefore, I kept trying to push, but I was not getting better. So I totally shut down, and I have an Instagram, I have a YouTube, and I decided to withdraw and not post. I decided to not really respond to people anymore because it was getting to the point where I would be good one day and then not good the next day. Like, me saying I'm good was, my headache was, instead of a 10, maybe the next day I was an 8. So in my head, I was like, I'm good. But what I realized what was happening is me telling people I'm good. They're like, what happened? You said you were good. I'm good compared to the next day. So I shut down. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I also had to go see 2 different neurologists because nobody understood what was going on. My neurologist was so concerned that I did have to get an MRI. He was confused. He didn't know what was going on, but he did also tell me that he was starting to see a couple people like me where they have this headache that does not go away. One neurologist did an MRI and he saw that it was like small, I don't know, maybe a history, but he didn't see anything acute. So then I started getting worried because I was like, what is it? What's going on? I felt like people thought I was making it up. I felt like I was making it up. I didn't know what was happening in my head, you know? It was hard to explain to people because I had a headache, and it wasn't a headache no headache, headache, no headache. I legit had a headache for 3 months straight. The pain probably was a 10 versus a 8. But I had a headache. This is something that I never experienced in my life, so I wanted to share it with you guys. I found this kind of underground forum. It was like, hey, you got COVID? Oh, shoot, you got COVID. Oh, bam, because nobody understood. Unless you had it, they didn't understand what you were going through. I'm getting emotional because I got really dark. I got sad. And one second. So I was really sad, and I started losing hope. I started feeling like this was my new norm. Maybe this is how it's gonna be for me to have a headache. And it wasn't a regular headache, it was pressure on my head, just pushing. And in the back of my head, it was a lot of pressure. And it got exhausting explaining to people. I even started lying, telling people I was okay, knowing that I wasn't. And I'm sorry, y'all. I'm really emotional because I know we're in the end of the pandemic. Most of the people have been vaccinated and we're in the end of this, but I didn't think it was real. And the experience that I had it was crazy. I went back into a deep depression. I had to lift myself back up thanks to my husband, my kids, my mother, my father, my family. I had to go even see my family in Atlanta to make myself feel better. Shout out to my cousin. She got married and I went to her wedding, and while I was there I had a headache. But people didn't know that I was suffering and I was in so much pain because I was trying to make myself feel better. So I took a lot of medicine. Anything that you can name, I took it. I'm not too sure what made me feel better. I did have to start physical therapy with my neck to relieve some of the tension in my neck, because my neurologist thought that maybe, you know, it was causing the tension like in my head. I don't know what was happening, but yeah, so I did start physical therapy. I also did wean myself off the medicine that I finally took. I don't want to say take this medicine to make it go away, but this is the medicine that I took that I finally did start to see some relief. I do have to occasionally take it because there is pressure still in my head a little bit. I haven't been to work in like 4 months. I'm going back to work this month. I feel much better, and I'm also going back with more empathy. I'm going back with a different mindset that when somebody tells me they're in pain, I believe them. Before, I think I took for granted pain, and when somebody tells you they're in pain, like, you have no idea until you experience it. You have no idea what that person is going through. So I definitely feel different with that aspect of it. I'm not going to talk about the vaccine, if I got it or didn't. I feel like you need to do what works best for your life. I'm not going to tell you what I did or didn't do. I'm not even going to include that in the video because it's very controversial. But I did just want to share my experience with the long haulers part of it, because it is something that the news doesn't talk about. It's something that you don't see a lot. You either see deaths or you see recoveries. You don't see the in-between, and that's what my doctors did stress to me. They told me that they're now starting to see these long haulers. So it's real. If you hear somebody say, I had COVID blank days, and they still have symptoms, don't disregard it. Just know that it's real. I'm hoping that it slowly does start to fade away and this can all be over. I'm glad to be back on camera filming. My lighting is off. I look a little yellow, but that's not the point. Anyway, it's just been rough. I'm glad to know that I'm over this hump, and I'm glad to know that I had my family to push me through and keep encouraging me, because there were days where I tell you I did not want to get out of bed. I did not want to do anything. And then when I did get out of bed, I was so short of breath that I was so tired I needed to sleep. There were some days where I took multiple naps. There were some days where I was popping medicine like every 2 seconds. And then I make YouTube videos, so then I would pop in people's videos and they'd be like, oh, you okay? But then I realized that I had to stop doing that. It was kind of hard to see people grinding and knowing that you want to grind and you can't. You know, it was making me depressed. So I did have to pull back a little bit, but I'm glad to be back. If you guys have any questions and I didn't answer anything, you can ask me below. I'm sorry if you're watching this video. I'm not a doctor. I'm not somebody that can tell you what to do with your situation. I'm just sharing my experience. I just wanted to share it with someone that has been through this, to let them know that you will get through this. You know, just keep praying. And it might take a month, it might take 3 months, it might take 6 months, but know you're gonna get through it because God is good. And that's all I gotta say about that. Anyway, until next time, I will talk to y'all later. Bye.